6 o'clock. It's Saturday the 25th of March and welcome to Wyke Regis TV News, coming to you live from the heart of Wyke Regis. I hope you're having a good weekend. Now, in the news this weekend, plans to build a energy incinerator or waste to energy incinerator on Portland have been rejected this week by Dorset councillors. Councillors voted unanimously to reject the proposal after hours of debate on Friday. Paul Cottrell from Stop Portland Waste Incinerator campaign said that all of the waste coming to the site would have to travel across the county, passing schools, houses and shops on the way. Councillor Belinda Rideout said it will disrupt the whole setting for visitors and our own experience of our coastline. It will be an unwanted dinosaur on the Jurassic coast. These are some things that the hearing heard. Now, the plans, they also heard that the plans were likely to result in a lorry every 9 minutes coming up through Boot Hill or Lanehouse Rocks Road and then down Portland Road in Wyke Regis. Boot Hill already being one of the most polluted roads in the area, and there are many difficult turns and roundabouts on the rest of the route. And of course, as we said, Boot Hill being one of the most polluted roads in the area. On the positive, it was reported that the plant would be able to provide shoreside power to visiting cruise ships, as well as power to local prisons. However, it was questioned whether the 15 megawatts of power likely to be generated would be enough for even one cruise ship. Portland Councillor Rob Hughes said, "Do we want to be the council which loses the Jurassic Coast its World Heritage status? It would be irresponsible to allow this to go ahead." As we say, the councillors rejected it unanimously. It is thought, however, that this isn't the end of the story and that the applicant is likely to appeal the council's decision. So I'm sure the story will carry on and we will be covering this more in the weeks and months ahead. Now, Airbnb has ranked Weymouth in the top 10 of destinations to visit in Great Britain for the up-and-coming Easter holidays. Weymouth offers lots of places to visit, such as the award-winning beach, parks, gardens and open spaces, open to residents and visitors. With miles of stunning sandy beaches, Weymouth makes great destination for anyone and everyone, so Airbnb says. Weymouth welcomes tourists all year round, and we expect more tourists and families across the Easter holiday as we get up to nearly 1 million visitors per year, which is also great for the town centre and the local economy. That's what the town council says. Now, Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Anne Weavering, said, "It is wonderful that Weymouth has once again been recognised and ranked so highly in the top destinations to visit in Britain. This is great news for Weymouth." Now, 16 local people have spent the last 16 weeks learning to dance with Eileen Spracklin School of Dance to fundraise for Weymouth Hospice Care, enabling the charity to continue to provide specialist care for adults in Dorset who have life-limiting illnesses and to also support their loved ones. Glitz, glamour and glitterball trophies were all part of the show that the amateur dancers put on for Weymouth Strictly Ballroom at Weymouth Pavilion on Friday night. The 8 couples donned their sequins and entertained the crowds, raising an impressive £42,000 for the charity. What a wonderful thing from one event. £42,000. Well done to everyone involved in that. The audience were also entertained with dance performances from the Studio and Evolution Dance. After the judges' scores were added to the votes cast by the audience, Dawn Woodbury and Ian Windsor were announced as the Strictly Ballroom 2023 champions. Weymouth Hospice Care thanks all the participants and their supporters, Eileen and Gemma from Eileen Spracklin School of Dancing, the judges Lou Sams, Emily Hardy and Jason Edwards, and Emily from Lotus Photography for all their help in making the show such a success. Now, people coming to Dorset County Hospital next week are being advised to allow extra time as sections of a new modular discharge lounge will arrive on site from Monday. That's this Monday, the 27th of March. The Trust has secured £2 million of funding from NHS England as part of a scheme to expand hospital discharge lounges for patients that are waiting for their medication or transports once they are medically fit to leave hospital. The funding is being used to install a single-storey modular building in the North Wing entrance 2 car park. It has been pre-made and will be assembled on site, and you can actually see an artist's impression of it there with the existing hospital building being the two-storey or three-storey building, and the modular single-storey building to the right. It will provide a much larger space for patients to stay while they wait to be discharged, freeing up beds in the meantime for patients that need to be admitted. It will include a discharge lane for 15 patients, 12 inpatient beds and 4 side rooms. The building will be delivered in sections over 4 days starting on Monday. The sections will arrive on a lorry and then will be craned into place on site. There will still be a few parking spaces available in the lower part of the North Wing car park while the deliveries take place, but the Trust recommends people use the multi-storey car park and spaces on the East Wing side of the hospital, which now also has additional disabled parking bays below the pencil sculpture. All of the work on this part of the hospital plan is due to be completed by mid-May. Now, staying with Dorset County Hospital, could you spend a few hours a week playing games or doing puzzles with patients at Dorset County Hospital? Dorset County Hospital's volunteer service is still looking for people to join its new activity squad, a group dedicated to helping patients take part in activities to support their mental and physical well-being. This could include playing board games, doing jigsaws, singing and other activities that patients may wish to try. Hannah Robinson, who's the volunteer and patient experience lead at Dorset County Hospital, said, "Our volunteers are such an important part of the team here at Dorset County Hospital. They give us the gift of time, which is invaluable and makes a huge difference. Our activity squad will spend their time socialising with patients and helping them remain active. If you enjoy spending time with people, having a good sense of humour and thoughts about how to support patient wellbeing, we would love to hear from you," she says. To find out more, you can email volunteering@dchft.nhs.uk, that's volunteering@dchft.nhs.uk, or telephone 01305 255 351, that's 01305 255 351. Now, the Know That Fort in Weymouth has been awarded £320,000 from the Museum Estate and Development Fund, which is being delivered by Arts Council England on behalf of the Department of Culture, Media and Sport. The money will pay for remedial work to address significant water ingress issues that have been holding the organisation back from further developing the heritage site. Know That Fort is Weymouth's top-rated tourist attraction after the town's award-winning beach and historic harbour. It has won multiple awards and is a scheduled monument, but unfortunately it leaks. Over the 150 years since the fort was constructed, changes to its structure and the gradual blocking of historic rainwater drainage routes have created an increasingly damp environment within the exhibition space. All work being paid for by this grant will be staged to minimise disruption to visitors and is expected to be fully complete within 2 years. At the same time as the work progresses, the team will be developing plans for some exciting new displays, including immersive experiences in the Victorian gun deck and the Cold War nuclear fallout shelter, telling a local story of national importance. Kate Hebditch, who's co-manager, said, "As a landmark on Weymouth Coast, the fort gets everything the weather can throw at it. This grant will give us much needed funds to solve the damp problems and preserve this spectacular building for the future." And just to say well done to everyone at the Know That Fort for keeping such a good tourist attraction up and running, and also something of historic and local importance going. Detectives who have arrested 2 teenagers in connection with an alleged serious assault in Weymouth are appealing for witnesses and anyone with information to come forward. Dorset Police received a report of a fight that had taken place in an alleyway between Court Road and Lawton Lane at around 9:20 a.m. on Tuesday the 21st of March. It was reported that 2 teenagers were in possession of a hammer and a knife, and that they assaulted another teenager, causing a laceration above his eye. The 2 alleged offenders then reportedly left the scene in the direction of Lawton Lane. Following detailed inquiries, a 15-year-old boy from Gillingham and a 15-year-old boy from Blandford area were arrested on suspicion of inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent. Detective Sergeant Rich Barnett of Weymouth CID said, "Our investigation into this incident remains ongoing and I'm keen to speak to any witnesses or anyone with information that may assist inquiries. Also, staying with Dorset, police officers investigating a burglary and assault incident in Weymouth are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. At 1:25 p.m. on Wednesday the 22nd of March, it's reported that 3 men entered a property in Emmerdale Close. While inside, one of the men grabbed one of the occupants by his t-shirt, but subsequently let go, and no injuries were sustained. The men left the address and attempted to force entry into a second property in Emmerdale Close. As they left the area, one of the men threw a piece of wood at a member of the public, which did not cause injury. The first man is described as Wyke, aged in his mid to late 20s, between 5'6" and 5'8" tall, and was wearing a black anorak coat with the hood up, black trousers, black sunglasses, and a scarf covering his mouth and nose. The second man is described as white, aged in his early 20s, and of skinny build. He was wearing a hooded top with the hood up and a drawstring pulled tight around his face, baggy tracksuit bottoms, and was possibly wearing sunglasses. The third man is described as white and was wearing a grey hooded top with something covering his mouth and nose. If you have any information on either of these incidents, any CCTV, dashcam footage or doorbell footage, then Dorset Police would love to hear from you. You can call them on 101, or if you wish to remain anonymous and give the information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, Litter Free Dorset is delighted to announce that the Great Dorset Beach Clean is back for its 33rd year. This year's event will take place on the 15th to 23rd of April, starting on the last weekend of the Easter break, and it's the perfect way to end your school holidays. And it's a great event that the whole family, of course, can get involved in. 17 beach cleans are happening along the Dorset coast from Lyme Regis to Christchurch, organised by local community groups, residents and businesses. Litter and plastic left on the beach are likely to end up in the sea, causing considerable harm to the marine environment and affecting bathing water quality, as well as being unsightly for beach visitors. Plastic will remain in the environment forever, gradually breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces which can be ingested by the wildlife. By taking part in this year's Great Dorset Beach Clean, you'll be working alongside other brilliant volunteers to keep Dorset's beaches beautiful for everyone to enjoy. Now, if you want to get involved, you can check out Litter Free Dorset's social media platforms to sign up for one of the events near to you. Remember to spread the word amongst your friends on social media, and you can use the hashtag GDBC23, GDBC23, the Great Dorset Beach Clean 23. And you can tag at Litter Free Dorset in your posts and photos as well. So to get in touch with them, it's on Facebook, it's Litter Free Dorset. On Instagram, it's Litter Free Dorset. And on Twitter, it's Litter Free Dorset. So if you search for those, you will find details of the events close to you, and you can get more information and sign up as well and take part in that at the end of the Easter holidays. Now, children and young people will get the support they need to get the most enjoyment from their educational experience and improve their life opportunities following the launch of a new attendance strategy by Dorset Council. The new strategy, which will be implemented during the year and this year and next, sets out to achieve the best attendance and raise the hopes and ambitions of our children and young people through a community partnership approach. The vision for the new strategy is attendance is everyone's business, and will be achieved by the community working closely and positively together, and with everyone taking responsibility to support children to be safe in school. Now, good attendance is vitally important to the Dorset community. It has been shown that there is a clear link between high attendance and educational attainment, leading to better life opportunities and the best results an individual can achieve. There are also other benefits to young people's well-being, such as nurturing long-lasting friendships, engaging in new activities, and enabling young people to be able to develop in a supportive environment. The new attendance strategy is already underway and will be bolstered by a communications campaign designed to reach everyone in the community who can help over the next year or so. The Woodland Trust is urging schools and communities across the south to join the fight against climate change and nature loss, and reach a remarkable 5 million free trees planted across the United Kingdom since 2020. And they want you to do that by taking advantage of the latest tree pack giveaway. And you can see somebody there with a picture of their tree pack on the screen. Applications for the charity's ever popular free tree pack scheme are open now, and schools and community groups are needed to push up the numbers of trees planted by 800,000 to reach the whopping 5 million target. The Woodland Trust say applying is easy, and all saplings are fully funded for those receiving the trees in our autumn delivery in November. All you need is time and a small piece of land to plant on. Now, the last round of the Trust Free Tree Pack scheme in the spring of 2023 delivered a total of 540,630 saplings to 3,272 organisations across the UK. And included in those targets were 8,115 trees and 47 organisations in Dorset. Trees are one of our strongest defences against the climate and nature crisis. Evidence shows that they combat the devastating effects of flooding, pollution and extreme weather and temperatures, say the Woodland Trust. They are also ultimate carbon stores. They are essential havens for wildlife and people, and they make the planet a healthier, happier place for everyone. Now, the Woodland Trust tree packs have been generously funded by their lead partners, Sainsbury's, Lloyds Bank, OVO Energy, Bank of Scotland and Sophology. If you want to apply for some free trees for your organisation or school, or just to learn more about the Woodland Trust, pop along to their website at www.woodlandtrust.org.uk, www.woodlandtrust.org.uk. And finally, in the headlines tonight, it's the last chance for residents who are planning to celebrate the coronation of King Charles III to organise a road closure. You only have just over a week left to apply for a free road closure. Excuse me. The coronation will be celebrated across the country and marked with a 3-day bank holiday weekend from Saturday the 6th to Monday the 8th of May, with opportunities for people to be part of the historic occasion. Anyone interested in hosting a coronation street party is being asked to complete an application for road closures by the deadline, which is this Friday, the 31st of March. Now, to find out where to do it, just go onto Google and search for Dorset Council Event Road Closure. Dorset Council Event Road Closure, and you will find the website. Now, holding a small outside event with neighbours on private land does not need council permission. However, if you plan a street party that involves the closure of the public road, then you do need to check that with Dorset Council you do need to apply, and they do need to check that the road is suitable for closure. If you are interested in what is going on in your local area, you can also check the National Coronation website to look at events near you, and that is coronation.gov.uk. coronation.gov.uk, and you will have the opportunity there to share your events with other people if you're planning an event, or to see what other events are happening in your area. The website has an interactive map which will display events and activities taking place in Dorset as well as the rest of the UK. So if you're out of Dorset for the duration of that weekend, you can see what's happening wherever you are. Yeah, all you need to do is put a postcode in and say what radius that you want to learn of events that are happening from that postcode, and it all comes up and clicks through to the information for you. Now, that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, have you, when you were a child or your children, ever had to go into hospital for an operation or a blood test? If so, I'm sure you will know for most young children this can be a very frightening experience, whether it's an operation or just a blood test or needles or whatever. And trying to calm and reassure children can be a very difficult task. Well, this week we learned of a new innovative approach being used locally here at Dorset County Hospital as a way of calming and distracting children about to have surgery or procedures such as blood tests. And they're doing this by the use of virtual reality equipment. And we're now going to hear about this from Paul Myatt, who works on Kingfisher Ward at Dorset County Hospital.
We had a trial through Rescape, which is the junior VR, and we had so much success. We had 80% of procedures getting done basically because of this VR headset, and there's children who refuse to come into hospital who actually agreed to come in to use this headset. We use them, for instance, going down to surgery. So if I have a child who's really anxious about going down to surgery, we pop the headset on and we walk with them. We can control the headset by an iPad, so once they have their sleeping medication in surgery, they can actually fall asleep like watching elephants, and then once they're just about to go to sleep, they pop the headset off and then start the surgery. The most popular is under the sea, so it's like in the Caribbean waters, really clear waters. You see lots of different fish in the waters. Then you've got dinosaurs, you've got safari, you've got secret beaches, you've got relaxation. Also, you've got the games where you can play afterwards. So it's more of like, once they've done the procedure, they can play a game. So it's more of like a reward. We've just seen the anxiety levels just completely go. It's actually quite astonishing, really, when you can see a child who previously has had a failed blood test, for instance, and then they've come in and they've used this VR and they've kind of forgotten that the blood test is actually finished. Because we've carried on with the VR after the test, they've not realised that the blood test is finished, so it's absolutely amazing. We're actually looking to use it in the maternity for a young mum, hopefully in the future, because of needle phobia.
There we go. That's some of the new innovative approaches that are being used in our local hospital there to make things easier for children when they are going to surgery or having a blood test. And actually, as you were hearing there, quite often they don't even know the blood test has been done because they've been immersed in watching dinosaurs or creatures under the sea. So that's a good news story there at our local hospital. In fact, there's lots of good news stories at our local hospital with all the investment that's going on there at the moment, and I'm sure we'll be sharing more of those with you in the weeks ahead. Now, we've spoken before about the Etches collection, which is a very popular fossil museum based in Kimmeridge. And basically created by a guy called Steve Etches, who had a massive fossil collection, and a specific museum has been built to host that collection. Now, they are about to launch their annual fossil competition, which is for young people, and that's going to be launched at the end of this week on the 31st of March. And the competition will be split into two groups, 5 to 10 year olds and 11 to 16 year olds, and it's about encouraging youngsters to look for fossils and to learn about fossils. Now, the 6 winners, 3 in each group, will have their fossils on display alongside the main collection at the Etches collection for an entire year. They'll also receive a family pass to the museum and a winner's certificate, and every child that enters the competition receives a personal annual pass to the museum as well. We thought this year's competition, as this year's competition is about to launch, it'd be good to learn about the winners of last year's competition and to see what their finds were. So we're now going over to the team at the Etches collection to learn a little bit about the winners of last year's fossil competition.
Why did we do the fossil competition? It was in order to discover the next generation of fossil hunters. We wanted a competition for young people so we could see their amazing finds and showcase them here in their own display case here at the Etches collection. Also, we feel that the case helps inspire the children that visit the museum and see what other youngsters are finding. This display case shows the winners from last year's competition, 2022. It ran for 5 months between spring and summer, and we received entries from all over the country. There were 2 age groups, between 5 and 10 and 11 and 16. So we were able to have 3 winners in each age category, resulting in the 6 winners whose fossils are on display here. So the judging panel had several criteria for how they found these 6 winners, and they included the quality and rarity of the fossil, the knowledge, passion and enthusiasm of the young fossil hunter. So the entries contained the backstory, where they found the fossil, and then When they'd done extra research on the animals concerned, then that extra research was also counting for them when the judges made their decision as to which fossils should go into the winner's cabinet. We think it was very successful based on the number of entries and how they came from all over the country. When we ran it, because it was the inaugural competition, we weren't sure if it was going to have just one or two entries from summer visitors to Dorset who'd found things on a beach locally. Instead, it uncovered a whole wealth of finds from all over the country. We had some sponsors for this competition. A company called Petrostrat helped us financially to ensure the competition could go ahead. And we're hoping to run it again this year. And we would be looking for more sponsorship for this year's competition.
Here they are, winners' fossils. So what we got, 2 entries were the same ammonites, Dactyliostris from Whitby up in Yorkshire. Both pretty well preserved, but they occur in nodules, and you crack these things open and often there's an ammonite like those inside. They're relatively common, but you know, for a find, if you're a youngster, that would make your sort of year really. So that normally is the sort of inspiration, that type of ammonite, to send people and get them really excited about sort of fossil collecting. The rarer things, well, again, let's go again. We got 2 sea urchins, one little one there. They're both out of the chalk, one slightly water worn. But that's the sort of thing that when I started, I found most excited to find those sea urchins. So they're really good finds for a youngster. The rarer ones, really, because again, this is a little tail vertebra of an ichthyosaur, and of course, in West Dorset, the only place you're going to find these loose on the beach, probably at Charmouth, Lyme Regis. And for a youngster to find one of those is right at the pinnacle of his sort of childhood in some ways. I never found one. I was always looking for this. But I never went to Lyme Regis, but I never found one anyhow. I'd be chuffed and nuts if I did. And then lastly, is this little part of the jawbone, lower jaw, dentary, of a fish called a barracuda, and that's from Barton-on-Sea. That's extremely uncommon, so that would make someone really, really pleased. Again, they're uncommon. A lot of fossil collectors who go to Barton-on-Sea never find them. So there's only 2 or 3 that I know of that have been found. And so this, is it a young boy? 5-year-old found that. I mean, that's really fantastic. So I'm sure that's going to set him on his way and inspire him to collect even more from Barton-on-Sea.
That's all we've got for you today from the Etches collection. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
There we go. That's learning about the Etches collection competition last year and the winners, and some fantastic fossils found there by the youngsters. And that was Steve Etches in the green with the hat there talking about those fossils. If you haven't paid a visit to the Etches collection in Kimmeridge, it is well worth a visit. There are some fantastic fossils there that were found by Steve, just a local collector who is now got a world renowned collection there down in Kimmeridge. Now, if you're interested in collecting fossils, if you're a youngster or you're a parent who wants to encourage your youngster and you'd like to get them involved in that competition, and you can join from anywhere in the country, you don't need to be in Kimmeridge or Dorset or on the south coast at all, then do pop along to the Etches collection website after Friday when it launches and find out details about this year's competition, which will run for the next 4 or 5 months. And the website is theetchescollection.org, theetchescollection.org. And if you fancy a little trip out, it's really nice all around Kimmeridge anyway, but well worth a visit to the Etches collection there in Kimmeridge. Right, it's that time in the programme now where we go over to regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. Last weekend, Shazam! Fury of the Gods was released in cinemas, a sequel to the 2019 DC film Shazam. The film stars Zachary Levi as the adult superhero form of the teenager Billy Batson, who was imbued with the powers of Greek gods by an ancient wizard. This new film revolves around Billy and his foster siblings with the same powers as him. coming into conflict with the daughters of the Greek god Atlas, who seek revenge for their father's defeat. Now, I felt that the visual effects in the film were quite good, with one character's power set reminding me of the effects from the first Doctor Strange film. I also felt that the dynamic storyline between actors Jack Dylan Grazer and Rachel Zegler easily became the beating heart of the movie. But unfortunately, I found that the script was severely lacking, with the film trying to have a complete storyline for at least the 12 central characters within the story, making the film feel overstuffed. Ultimately, I gave this film 3.5 stars out of 5. This weekend, John Wick Chapter 4 releases in cinemas as the 4th installment of the John Wick franchise and the sequel to 2019's John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. The film stars Keanu Reeves as the title character, alongside a returning supporting cast of Ian McShane, Lance Reddick and Lawrence Fishburne. The film revolves around Reeves' Wick travelling across the world, including locations such as Japan and Paris, in order to free himself from the underground criminal empire the High Table. The film premiered this month to 94% positive reviews from critics. Unfortunately, the release of this film is slightly marred by the news that actor Lance Reddick passed away unexpectedly last week at the age of 60. He already filmed an appearance in the spin-off film Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas alongside Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane and Norman Reedus prior to his death, which will be released sometime next year and will take place before John Wick Chapter 4. Go check out the new John Wick film this weekend. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will preview the live-action adaptation, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, and I will potentially review the home video release of the anime film Jujutsu Kaisen 0, so stay tuned for that. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much for that, Andrew, and we'll be back with Andrew next week for next week's film review and preview. It's that time in the programme now where we go over to the Met Office for this weekend's national weather forecast, and this week we are joined by Alex Burkill.
Hello, very good day to you and welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office on this rather blustery and for some showery Saturday. The reason for the fairly changeable weather is this area of low pressure, but that's now clearing away towards the east, and instead it's this area of low pressure with its associated fronts that we're keeping an eye out for, because it is going to bring some wet and windy weather across southern parts as we go through Saturday night into Sunday. Back to the here and now though, and through the rest of Saturday you can see there'll be some showery outbreaks of rain, particularly across parts of southwest Scotland and then leading down towards East Anglia. There will be a few showers elsewhere. You can see a few feeding in on that northerly flow across parts of Scotland, and a couple of showers across parts of Northern Ireland and central southern England and Wales too. But here, that's where the best of the sunshine is going to be, and as a result, temperatures are going to be a touch above average for the time of year. Could get to highs around 14 or 15 Celsius, a little bit colder further north. As we go through the end of the day, it's this wet and windy weather that we're turning our attention to. It's going to initially spread across parts of Devon and Cornwall, then across the rest of central southern England and much of Wales. A little bit of uncertainty as to how far north that rain is actually going to get, but it is going to be quite heavy at times. Could see up to 30 millimetres in a few places, and that could lead to a little bit of surface water flooding in some prone spots. A very different picture further north. Across much of Scotland, we'll have often clear skies. Some showers though feeding down on that northerly wind, and these could be a little bit of wintry, so some sleet or snow possible over any modest higher ground. It's also in the north where we're going to see temperatures falling lowest as we go through tonight. So here we could see temperatures dipping just a bit below freezing, so some frost and some icy patches to watch out for first thing. A much milder picture further south because of the wind and rain. If we zoom out for a second, then you'll see that that weather system's going to clear away towards the east as we go through Sunday morning, with high pressure then starting to build from the northwest. That high will then allow for that northerly flow to push across much of the UK, which means we're going to see temperatures taking a bit of a dip as we go through the rest of the weekend and into the start of the new working week. Looking at that in a bit more detail, and yes, you can see after a cloudy, wet start across central southern parts, that weather system and the rain is going to clear away towards the east. So things turning drier for many as we go into the afternoon, but staying quite cloudy, a cloudier picture than today for many. Some bright sunny spells developing across parts of Northern Ireland and Scotland as we go into the afternoon, but here we are going to see some showers, and they could still be a little bit wintry at times over the highest ground. Temperatures, well, look at those, markedly down compared to Saturday. In the north, some places will struggle to just mid-single figures, whereas in the south will just about scrape into double digits. As we go through the end of the day on Sunday, we are going to see the cloud breaking up a little bit, so some clear skies developing as we go through the evening and overnight. And for many it is going to be largely dry, but still some showers piling down on that northerly wind, particularly across parts of Scotland, and again these could be a bit wintry at times. Because that northerly wind and that colder air I showed you earlier, it is going to be a markedly colder night as we go through into Monday morning, with some frost and some ice to watch out for, particularly in the north. There is then some further unsettled weather to come as we go through this week, so it is worth keeping up to date with the full forecast wherever you are on both the Met Office website, our app and our social media channels. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Alex, for the update there on the national weather forecast. And now we'll take a look at the local weather forecast for the week ahead. And as you can see, it remains mild for the time of year, with maximum temperatures about 12 degrees centigrade. And with that mild weather, it becomes wet again. We either seem to have the cold, dry weather or the mild, wet weather. Some sunny spells there during the week, but it is going to be wet, with Friday looking to be the wettest day. So I'm sorry to bring you that news, but the wet and mild weather continues. Now, time for seeing what's on in the days and weeks ahead. First of all, at Weymouth Pavilion, 28th and 29th of March coming up in this week. The Ukrainian National Opera are at the Pavilion, with Madame Butterfly on the 28th of March and Carmen on the 29th of March. 1st of April, Mercury, the Ultimate Queen Tribute. 5th to the 8th of April, Way presents Everybody's Talking About Jamie. 14th of April, Electric Light Orchestra Experience. 15th of April, The Searchers Thank You Tour. That looks really good. Looking at some of the music on that earlier. And 16th of April, Bobby Davro in the Easter pantomime Rapunzel. It's just on one day, 2 performances on the one day, 16th of April. Now, to book tickets, you can go online at weymouthpavilion.com, or you can call the box office on 01305 783 225. Now, at the Knowth Fort, they have their wedding fair tomorrow, 26th of March. Then they have Easter fun from the 1st to the 16th of April, with Easter egg hunts and lots more activities going on. And then their Coronation Festival on the 6th to the 8th of May. Just one thing to bring you from Arts Reach this week. That's Battling Butlers that we mentioned last week. Juggling babies, toddlers on stilts, and teaching young Joey to ride his first unicycle are all part of everyday life for single dad Joe Butler, in this poignant family love story involving the ever-changing relationship of a father and son double act. It uses a unique blend of physical theatre, circus skills, original songs and live music. And it's a study of role reversal and the inevitability of change as the old order makes way for the new. Now, that is tomorrow night, 26th of March, 7:30 at Royal Manor Theatre, so right on our doorstep. If you want tickets for that, go to Arts Reach website. Just go into Google and search for Arts Reach, and you can purchase those tickets online on their website. Now, there's quite a few things coming up in Wyke Regis over the next few weeks, and there's certainly some stuff coming up for the coronation. We're going to go over to hear from Jeff Thomas now from All Saints Church, just about some of the things coming up in the first few weeks, and then we'll visit Jeff again probably next week to hear about what's coming up in the coronation. So over we go to Jeff now. Well, good evening. I'm here at All Saints Church with Church Warden Jeff Thomas, and Jeff is going to tell us a little bit about what is coming up in some events in the parish of Wyke Regis over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and on the first day of April, in the Memorial Hall on Saturday, we are running a quiz, as you know, because you'll be our quizmaster. And it's a very popular event. We have an evening of fun. Bring your own booze, bring your own food, £5 a head, and that will include 2 free raffle tickets. And come and pit your wits against your questions, Gary. So that's the first thing I want to say. And there's plenty of room left. So if you're interested, give me a call. I'll give you my telephone number if you like, 07710 096 174, or text me and I'll put you on the list. Or you can turn up at the door, but you will take your chance then because it's full up. Then you might be unfortunate. So that's the quiz night. That's the first thing that's coming up. And then on, excuse me while I look at my list. And then on Sunday, the 16th of April, we've got quite an unusual event for us, which is a concert by a tenor, a young tenor by the name of Gregory Stewart. He's coming to sing to us, and he's going to come and sing some songs from the musicals, some classical favourites. So if you like songs from shows like Les Mis or Carousel, then I think you'll find this is the concert for you. Tickets are £10 a head, and that will include a glass of wine or a soft drink. If you're interested in coming, then again, contact me. And you can also go on the website and find out more details, because all the details of these will be on the website very shortly. So that's a concert in 2 weeks on Saturday by Gregory Stewart, a young tenor. And then, looking slightly further forward, at the end of the month, on the 28th of April, we have another of our film nights. And this is down at the Memorial Hall again. This will be on the 28th at 6:30 for 7 o'clock. And we're showing a French film. It's called Les Choristes. And it's a lovely film, actually. It's a lovely film about post-war France and a music teacher who goes to a school for orphans and tries to make something of the boys' talent for singing. And if you want to come, you'll be welcome. I would suggest you bring a box of tissues, because it's quite a sort of weepy. It's £5.50 a head, this one, but that also includes a glass of wine. So that's a flavour of what's coming. And then, of course, don't forget our regular third Saturday of the month coffee morning here at All Saints from 10 o'clock in the morning. That's proving to be a very popular event as well. Coffee, tea, lovely cake, and some chat and some good company. So that's what's coming up in the coming month. If you want to know more, want to speak to someone about it, then give me a call. My number again is 07710 096 174, and you can find all that out on the website too.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing all that with us today.
It's a pleasure.
There we go, and we'll be back with Jeff next week to hear about some of the things that are coming up for the coronation weekend at the beginning of May. Now, what else we got for you? Church services in Wyke Regis this week are 8 o'clock at All Saints Church, 9:30 at All Saints Church, and 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Lane House. And our other programme, of course, tonight is our weekly quiz programme. That will be going live at 7:30 with the quiz starting. The feed will be up at 7:15, so you can make sure you are linked up and you are sitting comfortably. The quiz will start at 7:30, and you are all welcome to join that. That's for the whole community. It's free of charge, no catch whatsoever, and it's a family fun and family friendly evening. Traffic and travel, just to update you a bit on traffic and travel this weekend and the week ahead. The rail union strikes that were booked for Thursday the 30th of March and next Saturday the 1st of April have been suspended at the current time. So it looks like there may be talks happening, and they've decided not to go ahead with those strikes at the current time. We will keep you posted, obviously, if that situation changes and what the future holds for the rail travel. Now, on the roads, Weymouth Town Centre has got a major road closure that's going to be shut for 5 weeks. Part of Gloucester Mews behind the seafront will be closed while scaffolding is erected and repairs carried out on properties. And that will start from this Monday, the 27th of March, all the way through to the 5th of May. So just be aware of that. An alternative route, which will be signposted via Gloucester Mews, King Street, Commercial Road, Western Road and Park Street, will be signposted. Roadworks in the week ahead that are likely to cause disruption, so that's those with traffic control of some sorts, are the junction of Lanehouse, Rocks Road and Fremantle Road that continues. Wyke Road, Portland Road, Dorchester Road, that junction by Morrison's, Glennie Way, Preston Road and New Road on Portland. Those seem to come up several weeks on the trot, some of those, but they are still showing active roadworks on those roads. Now, we're almost at the end of this week's programme, but there's a very important thing that I need to remind you of, and that is that the clocks go forward tonight. Officially, they go forward at 1 a.m, so if you're up at 1 a.m, then put your clocks forward 1 hour at 1 a.m. But if you wake up in the morning, just remember to put those clocks forward 1 hour, otherwise you might get confused and turning up at the wrong time for things. Certainly tomorrow, or if you've got nothing on tomorrow, on Monday when you go off to work or whatever you're doing Monday. So clocks going forward 1 hour, 1 a.m, Sunday morning. Don't forget to do it, or do it first thing in the morning when you get up. Now that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Thank you for joining me. I love to hear from you if you've got any local events and news, particularly coming up with the coronation weekend. We would love to hear from you. Do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. We're here and we would love to hear from you, and we will share that with the community in our next programme. So, hope you have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Hopefully it won't be too wet, but at least it's not going to be too cold. So stay safe, and I look forward to being with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.